Welcome to the 10th Street Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. The 1979 Little 500 is about to get underway this Saturday afternoon. Our colleague on the broadcast again this year, as he has been in past years, Steve Tesich. Steve, the race looks good if the weather holds.
Well, Doug, the weather's a big question. Winds are gusting up to 20 out of the southwest. Hopefully it'll move the rain around to the north of us. The track's fast and hard. If it stays this way, I look for a great race.
The stands are filling in, the crowd's coming in. We stand by for the preparation and the start of the 1979 Indiana University Little 500. As in any race, there are always favorites, and this Little 500 is no exception. Steve, who can we look for to be some of the top teams this year in this race?
Well, Doug, I think Delta Chi will be a team that has to be reckoned with. Excellent riders back from last year and previous years. They should be tough. Phi-Psi, the defending champion. Again, a team that everybody's going to have to watch. Then from there it goes Sigma Phi Epsilon, Alpha Epsilon Pi, and Delta Tau Delta. I would say those are the 5 teams. Of course, there might be breakthroughs. A couple of those, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, the Dodge House, Theta Chi. Those are the teams I'll be watching today and hoping to see them do well.
What does a team have to do to be in contention near the end of the race for that final checkered lap?
Well, Doug, in the years that you and I have done the race, we have seen races that have been marred by accidents early. The teams have to avoid those accidents. Getting a lap down in this race can be fatal. If you can avoid the early accidents, ride with the leaders all day, and have a great sprinter, as some of those teams have, then it comes down to a trophy dash, and that's what we saw last year. That's what we saw the year before. I look for it this year, Doug.
That's what it takes to win. That's who the teams are to look for this year's Little 500. Earlier this afternoon, we had the opportunity to visit with the chairman of the board of the Borg-Warner Corporation, who's introduced a brand new trophy for this year's Little 500. There's a new trophy associated with the Indiana University Little 500 this year. It's the Borg-Warner Trophy, and it looks very similar to one you see in Indianapolis during the month of May. With me is the chairman of the Borg-Warner Corporation, Mr. Jim Blase. Jim, tell us about the reasons for the trophy, the new trophy this year.
Well, first, our company's had a long relationship with Indiana University, and we have a great respect for the school. And since the Indianapolis Speedway is also in Indiana, we thought it'd be appropriate that we participate in this great event.
It's a beautiful trophy. Will this be awarded to the winner, or is it a traveling trophy, or exactly what?
Well, it will be awarded to the winner, but the winning team will receive a replica of this trophy, which they will keep permanently, and this will stay at the university, possibly at the foundation for others to observe it.
Mr. Blase, it's a beautiful trophy, and as you say, it is a replica of the big one in Indianapolis. It's beautiful, and Borg-Warner's participation this year just makes it that much of a better event.
Well, you're very kind, and I hope it reaffirms business commitment to young people and the fact that anything that we can do to help them grow and become better citizens, we're delighted to be part of.
Thank you, Mr. Blase.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for some final words to the team, the chief steward of today's race, a professor and director, Center for Safety and Traffic Education in the School of Health, Physical Education, and Recreation here at Indiana University, Dr. Bernard Loff, your chief steward for the Little 500. Dr. Loff.
Gentlemen, I know that you are all very well aware of the importance of this event that you're participating in today. We most certainly want to extend our congratulations and thanks to you for everything that you have done to get ready for this event. It is most important that you abide by the rules and regulations throughout the entire event, and you're all thoroughly familiar with them. We want to do our very best to keep that yellow light off today as much as we possibly can. We want to keep violations down to an absolute minimum. With your cooperation, we can do this. Exercise the very best of your skill, your knowledge, and your attitudes and I'm sure we can have a safe and an efficient race. Best of success to you all.
The man who has masterminded the Little 500 since practically its inception more than 28 years ago is Bill Armstrong. He's a tremendous man and a tremendous gentleman. We had a chance to talk with him. The man who has masterminded this entire Little 500 operation and the fundraising events that surround it for so many years. How many years is it now, Mr. Armstrong?
27 years. 27
years. This is Bill Armstrong of the Indiana University Foundation. I think, Mr. Armstrong, once again, you've put together in your organization an excellent event this year.
Well, right now, Doug, the great thing is the weatherman. When you have an event that centers around so much of the weather, when your students and those that do the great work for you work so hard, you certainly want to see it go off successfully.
And of course, the Little 500 this year is going to get a lot more publicity from the fact there's been a big Hollywood movie made around this. And I know you had a part in that.
Breaking away is going to mean a great deal to Indiana University and to our event. As it is seen around the country, our alumni, they're going to feel good about seeing the Well House and musical arts and the auditorium and the athletic facilities and the library. It's going to bring back great memories and great thoughts to them. And actually, I think our weekend is going to be the finest it's been in at least 12 years. Our crowd, our advanced ticket sales, the mini last night, and everything, it just all shapes up to be a great weekend.
What do you see, Mr. Armstrong, as the future of this Little 500 bicycle race and the events that surround it?
Well, the future to me, after this year, we have new, I think, a brighter future than we've seen in many years. Our big problem right now is the physical facility. And we must do something about the stadium, our new stadium. And we're working very hard on that particular phase of our program. And if we get that particular thing corrected, I think the event has many long years to go, and I just think it's 29 now, and we've been able to prosper, and the junior class is just absolutely an amazing group.
This is an excellent event, and we congratulate you on everything that surrounds it and your participation in it for so many years.
Well, may I say this to you? You've certainly been a great booster, and what you have done for us in Channel 4, we appreciate it so very much. And
Thank you.
I hope you have a great program today and see a great race, safe, but a lot of fun.
Certainly.
And best to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Armstrong.
Thank you.
Have a good day. There go the balloons, signifying that we're about to get underway with this 1979 Indiana University. A colorful multitude of balloons flowing into the air. Steve, they're almost as colorful as the crowd is.
Well, Doug, we have a full house here today, and everybody is on their feet, and I just look for a great race if the weather holds.
We are getting indications that clouds may be building, but we're not going to worry about it. We're going to do a Little 500 bicycle race as we always do, and this looks like it's going to be a super event once again this year. The track looks like it's in good shape. The riders are all by their bicycles. These are the riders who will be starting the race for each individual. Here now, the charge to the riders.
Gentlemen, mount your AMF Roadmasters.
Doug, I'll be watching Bud Loft, the chief steward of this year's race. I'll be watching to see if he gives Howdy Wilcox the signal to give the green flag, or if he calls it off and demands another lap of pace.
They are going to demand this year from the riders, Steve, is this not correct, that they be in shape, in a very good shape as they come to the start-finish line in terms of lined up in rows and distance between each one?
Doug, because of having only 2 weeks of practice between qualifications in the race, they are very concerned about these first few laps, and I know that Bud Loft and Mike Howard, the chief observer, have decided that this start is going to have to be in order, or they're not going to let it go.
The race will start. If not, they could send them around again, but we've never had
If they do not get the green flag, they'll go around one more time.
And now the pace car picking up speed.
Until the riders do get themselves aligned in such a position as to get the start for this race. And not until the green flag falls will any of these laps count. Once the green flag falls, it's 200 laps to the checkered flag. That's 50 miles on this quarter-mile cinder track.
They're maintaining very good position.
Down the backstretch into turn number 3. And everybody looks like they're in good shape, Steve.
East turn and heading for turn number 4.
Coming around around turn 4. The pace car will accelerate down the main straightaway. And it looks like we're going to get a green flag. We have a green flag. The 1979 Little 500 is underway. Sigma Chi leading the way into turn number 1.
Doug, it looks safe down there and tight. They've strung it out.
This pack is very well strung out through that turn. Everybody keeping in good shape. No problem. We always look for wrecks when they're close together on a start like this. The pack is strung out almost the length of a straightaway. And Sigma Chi leads them through on the first lap as they go through turn number 3, through turn number 4, head down the main straightaway for lap number 1. Steve, call them as they go by.
Sigma Chi, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, and Alpha Epsilon Pi, just the way they started, Doug, as they go across the first lap.
As they go on for lap number 2, you notice that some teams stringing out toward the rear a little bit, but up front, a pack developing. Now those are dangerous situations.
Doug, that first lap was 32 seconds plus. That's an average speed of 28 miles an hour.
Rather fast speed to be riding a very lightweight, thin bicycle around on a very hard surface, 28 miles an hour. We come around for lap 2. A group of teams cross the line together as they go by. And now we begin to see that pack form up as they head into the turn, and the riders bunch themselves closely together.
Doug, they've slowed down considerably. Now they rode a 37-second lap. That's 24.5 miles an hour.
The entire field is bunching itself up now, Steve, as they slow down on that lap. And we're beginning to see that famous pack formation we always watch for.
And Doug, that famous pack formation makes me a little eerie because of the possibility of a bike going down in the middle of that pack.
Of course, one thing these riders will try to do is stay very close to each other. In doing that, the rider ahead of you breaks the wind for you a little bit, makes your job of pedaling that bicycle a little bit easier. You'll notice as the teams go along, you don't see anybody coasting on these bicycles. Those legs keep pumping all the way around.
Doug, Whistler 5 is now leading the pack through.
That's an independent team. Independents traditionally have not fared as well as some of the fraternity teams in this race, although there are several strong ones in this year's race.
Doug, that was a 36-second lap. That's an even 25 miles an hour.
They're keeping up a very good pace, and as long as we keep a green flag out, why, we could see some records broke today, because the situation really is as good a situation for racing today as we've seen in quite a while. The sun not too bright, the temperature not too high, the wind not too strong.
And I believe we have Delta Chi going to lead it across the line here with Sigma Alpha Epsilon second.
Team number 5, Delta Chi, crossing the line, leading the pack as they go to turn number 1.
And they have picked it up, a 35-second lap. That's almost 26 miles an hour, Doug.
Teams moving very well. We are accident-free so far.
And that's a good sign.
That is a very good sign. It shows that these riders are concentrating on what they are doing as they go through these turns, which are very dangerous when you get 4 or 5
we
bicycles
have one
abreast.
down, Doug.
One rider is down in turn number 3. He's back up very quickly, looks okay.
A new marker is dropped, so it'll give you a chance to keep unofficial tab on your favorite.
One rider went down. He's all right. He's going to come in for an exchange. No problem there. We have an accident down in turn number 1 now also. This is what we were afraid of. The track is quickly cleared, but the yellow flag, the yellow light is out. It'll slow these riders down. Everybody keeps position as they do that. One rider back on his bike already. Several teams went down. We'll try to get a count of them.
We know that Delgado Ground, Team 16, was in that wreck. But they got up so quick, Doug, our spotters were unable to pick up the rest of the teams down.
Everybody got down and then got back up, but everybody's doing all right. So very quickly did we clear this track from the first major accident of the day. Been about 7 teams involved in it. Everybody back up very quickly on their way. The track's cleared. We expect the leaders to get the green, probably, Steve, on the next time around.
Doug, they're in turn 2. I would imagine that Bud Loft, the chief steward, will give them the green as they come around Out of the fourth turn.
Listening after 5 laps. The leader was team number 5, Delta Chi. Their elapsed time, 3 minutes and 1/100th of a second. In second place, these teams are all up front together, so the time will be about the same. The second place, team number 2, Sigma Alpha Epsilon.
5 lap standings being given. It took only 3 minutes to go 5 laps.
Fourth place, team number 8, Phi Kappa Phi. And in fifth place, team number 4, Theta Chi.
Still running under the yellow light right now.
And then number 10, Sigma Phi Epsilon.
And apparently the observers are waiting to make sure that everything is all right with everybody and that there are no unsafe bicycles still on the track. As soon as they check that, they'll give them the green, the pack, the leaders moving on the backstretch. Coming at you on your TV screen now, the team in the light blue.
When it's safe, but also delayed until the lead team.
As they lead them down the backstretch toward turn number 3, and we anticipate a green flag.
Slow down and then getting a jump on that team.
Doug, I expected the green flag last lap. I guess that the safety inspectors didn't feel that the track was clean enough to go.
Howdy Wilcox about to show them the green flag we anticipate. Yes, they have it. Green flag racing once again.
The green flag is out. Resume racing.
So these riders get themselves underway once again. We're back racing at full speed on a very hard and fast cinder track. There's a lot of preparation that goes into the making of this particular track. This is not just a hard surface, it's a very specialized surface. Earlier this afternoon, had the opportunity to talk with the man who makes it that way. If you were to ask someone here at this little 500 who one of the most important people is in getting this race ready to run in terms of preparing the track, preparing the field, and getting everything ready, the answer they'd probably give you is Don Holtzclaw. Don, you've been preparing this track for a number of years now, and you've seen it change over the years. What kind of track is it today?
I think you'll find it's very solid, and we'll have very little light dust on it, but I think basically the track is well packed down, and you should have a pretty fast race out of it today.
What sort of materials and ingredients go into your preparation for this track?
Basically, the track is a cinder track, and we've added about a 30 to 40% mixture of ag lime, and then we put roughly about 5 tons of calcium chloride on it, and then we mix this in with water. And then we'll put a set, like we'll get the cars out there with the rubber tires on it for a compacting agent. And it just tightens her down real tight, kind of like an old county road.
It's more like asphalt than it is cinders, right?
Today it is.
Looks like a good day for a race.
It's going to be a fine one.
Don, thanks for talking to us. Don Holtzclaw.
Doug, we're on lap 40, but we get the official standings about 5 laps late from the scorers and timers position, just 1 floor below us in the press box. The official standings after 35 laps. Team number 13, the Dodds House, leads. And the rest of these teams all within 2 seconds of each other. Sigma Chi, team number 1.
We have a wreck on the main straightaway. Big wreck on the main straightaway before they even got to turn number 1. Apparently somebody trying to exchange. They went down. We got a lot of teams down in that turn. Team number 13, the Dodds House, who was leading at lap 35 on this 41st lap, has gone down. Let's take another look at the replay of this race, Steve, of this wreck. Here it is. A lot of bikes going down, riders still moving through. You can see team number 12, that's Phi Kappa Psi. They're trying to get their bike up and out. Team number 33, the very last team in this race. They are in that wreck, Wilkie South 3. Team number 29, also one of the teams who started in the rear. That was Jenkins House, an independent unit. Most everybody back up and going now. We've got one rider who, however, is still on the ground. It looks like, Steve, we got a rider hurt. Wreck on the backstretch. We have one down on the backstretch. 2 bicycles involved, 3. Teams will be looking for new bicycles. Those things break very easily on the back straightaway.
An accident on the south stretch. Yellow light, accident on
the yellow light has come back out once again. Steve, let's take a look at the replay of this wreck.
Doug, the leaders pack going down the back straightaway, and you can see it right there about the middle of the pack. Somebody gets a little out of shape, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that great riding on the inside to get away. 5 people down in that wreck, but some of those riders in the back of the pack did some tremendous riding to get away.
You have to keep your head up to watch through this thing.
The pole setter, Sigma Chi, was in that accident. Now that is really going to string the operation out. We have a very small leaders pack now. We have a second pack, and we have a third pack. So this is going to be interesting. This will allow teams an opportunity to get back in the race. If they are in the back pack, they can move up to the second pack and come right back up to the leaders pack if they've got the horses.
So a lot of people will be working very, very hard to catch up, to get going and get back up in the lead to this race. The official standings at the end of lap number 50. This is the quarter-way mark. Leading the field, team number 2. That's Sigma Alpha Epsilon. They qualified second place. They were leading the race. Team number 5, Delta Chi, team that has won this race as many times, almost the leader's number of wins. Team number 11 was in third position. That is Wilkie South Suite, an independent unit, the highest independent unit at the 50 lap mark. Fourth place, team number 3, that was Alpha Epsilon Pi. Fifth place, team number 9, Whistler 5. So 2 independent units up in the top 5 at the quarter-way mark in this year's Little 500. One of the events that associated with this thing every year, it's a great event, and it was won for the second year in a row last night by the same team. Same girls did it last year, they did it this year. That was Delta Zeta, and that's the Mini 500, and it's an absolutely super event.
Tricycle. It's a kid's toy. Almost everyone had one when you were young, and it led to bigger and better things like bicycles. And once you passed on from bikes to cars and such, the tricycle was long forgotten. Not at Indiana University. Almost as big as the Little 500 bike race is the Mini, a race of tricycles and girls. There are 4 girls on each team, and there are 63 teams. That's 252 girls, all riding trikes around an elongated oval. The object, to see which team can do it in the least time with no mistakes, such as touching a boundary line or crossing the exchange area. Such a mistake can quickly bring to an end all the effort and the endless hours of preparation that each team devotes toward this one Friday evening. The event is a single elimination competition. That means one mistake, or being a fraction of a second too slow, and it's all over. The excitement mounts throughout the evening of competition as each heat of 3 teams takes its ride. The winners advance on to the next heat. The losers are resigned to wait until next year. The elimination process continues on until finally there's only one race left to run. In the end, there's a winner. 4 girls who have practiced hard and long and had a little luck come their way.
And we've got a wreck. We've got a wreck in between 3 and 4, and it's 4 bikes down.
Several riders down on lap 96. Up toward turn number 3. All are up very quickly and back on their way.
Team number 2, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, was one of the teams down. Team number 26.
Several teams down there in that particular circumstance. We are racing on lap 97 now. That wreck occurred on lap 96. Here's a replay of it, Steve. One rider simply sliding out, the bike getting out from under him, and he's taken 2 more into the wall with him.
A total of 4 riders into the hay bales, Doug, and they were all back up and racing very shortly thereafter. Pi Kappa Alpha was one of the teams. Sigma Alpha Epsilon was another. And the other two teams were back up so quick we missed them, Doug.
We've gone 98 laps. They're working now. When they come back by our start-finish position, there'll be 99 laps through this race, and we approach the halfway point in the 1979 Little 500. A race so far marred by a number of accidents, several yellow lights. It's been out at least 6 times for about 20 laps at least this far into the race, Steve, and again, we attribute that to just lack of practice, the weather, and the calendar not cooperating for that. Completing lap 99 as they come around now. Delta Chi up front with team number 11, Wilkie South Sweet.
The third place team, Doug, is team number 13, Dodds House. And then it goes back another lap to team 12, Phi Kappa Psi, and team number 2, Sigma Alpha Epsilon.
2.91 miles per hour.
So they move down the back stretch on lap 99, and we come around for the halfway mark in this race. We're halfway through it. It's been a tough one so far for a lot of these riders and a lot of teams, and they come around as they do on lap number 100, and leading across the line will be team number 11, Wilkie South Sweet. They're followed by team number 32, which is Acacia. Acacia not one of your leaders, however. Delta Chi in the maroon jersey up there up front. The events that have sprung up over the years surrounding the Little 500 have grown in number. There's more than we could possibly present in this telecast. But one that has grown in popularity through the years is the Golf Jamboree. It involves more than 100 golfers in a best ball tournament that this year had to go several extra holes to determine a winner. Perhaps the highlight of the day, however, was a trick golf show put on by a former touring golf professional, Pete Longo. Using a variety of deformed golf clubs, he made the game look ridiculously easy. But in talking with him, one learns that it takes a lot of practice to make everything come out just right. How much practice does a trick shot golfer like yourself put in order to achieve an ability to do these different shots?
Well, I work about 3 to 5 hours a day on my show, and right now I've been developing a bunch of new shots, so I've been working a lot more at it than I think I would have to. But it does take time, because each golf club that you have and each shot has a different characteristic and a different feel. So that's what really requires a lot of practice.
How much are you on the road each year?
Well, I just really started doing shows on the road last year, and I'm spending about 6 months on the road right now. I'd like to do more, and hopefully I will.
Will you think about going back to the Pro Tour at all?
No, I'm all through playing the Pro Tour. I can tell you that definitely. I played twice on the tour. I played a full year in 1974, and I played about 6 months in 1978. I just couldn't make any cash out there. You can't last too long if you don't make any money.
In other words, what Fuzzy Zeller from New Albany, Indiana did last weekend just doesn't come along every day.
I don't think that's in the future for Peter Longo. No, not that kind of a win.
Pete, thanks for talking. Rain has begun to fall once again here at the Indiana University Little 500. We've completed 144 laps, and the rain now is coming down much stronger than ever before this afternoon. We've had a couple of drops, but Steve, it's looking pretty good this time as we complete 145 laps.
And Doug, you can see there on the screen that the race is really picking up. I think some of these teams think this might be it. We've said that before. But if you're a well-coached team, anytime anything appears to be serious enough that it might end the race, you go like there is no tomorrow, because you want to be as far up as possible.
This pace is picking up right now as these teams know it's raining. They know the red flag could come out and halt this race at any point, and everybody wants to be as high as they can when that happens. Delta Chi is your leader. They are crossing right now. 146 laps complete. They're in the maroon. They're team number 5. We keep our eye on them as they go to turn number 1. They are not the lead bicycle in that pack. The rain still falling lightly at this point, but if it continues like this, the track will become very slick.
And Budloff will close the track, Doug. The nice thing about Delta Chi's position, they don't have to ride first bike in that pack, because they're a lap up on everyone. They can ride wherever they please. As long as they ride in the same lap, they will be a lap ahead and will win this race if it is ever called.
Officially at lap 140, we are now completing 147. Officially at lap 40, Delta Chi ahead of second place Wilkie South Sweet by about 35 seconds or so, which translates into almost a lap.
Doug, our statistician Fred Khalil has just handed me the time on that last lap, 38 seconds flat. That's an average mile per hour of 23.69 miles per hour.
These riders know that this situation could become critical at any moment, and when they stop the race, when they put the red flag out, if that should come out, and if that happens, and we are hoping it will not, but the alignment at the stop point may very well be the official finish if we don't get a restart. Moving down, we've completed 148 laps now. They're working on lap 149. Lap 150 will mark the three-quarter point in the little 500 race, and so far it has not been a record-setting time, but in spite of the fact we've had 8 yellow lights, it has been a fast race thus far.
Doug, I think the last elapsed time that I heard made the average come out to about 22 miles an hour, and even though we've had the yellow lights, that indicates that the speed between the yellow lights has been very, very good.
Lap 149 being completed by your leader right now, team number 5, that's Delta Chi. And everybody trying to stay up with them, and the pace is picked up at this three-quarter point in the Indiana University Little 500. This is the 29th year of this bicycle race. It began way, way back with a guy by the name of Howdy Wilcox, who you might remember from Big 500, and that's where this event transpired from. It's an offshoot of that, and it's a great event. And we watch these bicycles move around, approaching the three-quarter mark in this year's race. Here we come. Delta Chi will lead them across. Team number 8 crossing with them. That's Pi Kappa Phi, but they are not a leader. Team number 5, Delta Chi, leading the teams.
Let's watch Delta Chi now out of the second turn. We'll get that back straightaway shot. Delta Chi is leading the pack. They are in the maroon jersey, white helmet. They proudly wear number 5 on their helmet, signifying their 5th place qualification. Doug, they come out of the 4th turn now towards the start-finish line. Delta Chi with Bill Brissman up.
151 laps completed, and racing we still go. The rain looks like it's slackening off a little bit now. The intermittent shower that we had that lots of people got very, very nervous about. Maybe it's going to leave us alone. We continue to race.
6. Here are the official standings from lap 150. Delta Chi is the leader with an elapsed time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 34 seconds. Team number 10, Sigma Phi Epsilon, is in second. Team number 24, Alpha Sigma Phi, is in third. Team 11, Wilkie South Sweet, fourth. Team 28, Kappa Sigma, fifth. Team 29, Jenkins House, sixth. Team 1, the pole sitter, Sigma Chi, is seventh. Team 2, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, is eighth. Team number 3, Alpha Epsilon Pi, is ninth. And team number 15, Beta Theta Pi, rounds out our top 10. The elapsed time again for team number 5, Delta Chi, our leader, 1 hour, 37 minutes, 34 seconds.
That's at the three-quarter point in this race. We are on 157 lap right now. As your leaders come out of turn number 4 and come down the straightaway to the start-finish line, 190 laps have been completed. We have 10 laps remaining in this 1979 Indiana University Little 500. Steve, now it gets down to the nitty-gritty.
Well, it does, Doug, but I tell you, right now it looks like Delta Chi has got a lock on it. They're a lap up, Doug, with 10 laps to go, and it would take something really unexpected to happen for them not to win this race. All they have to do is stay on their bicycle, hope that their tires stay inflated, and they have won the 1979 Little 500.
So Delta Chi completes 191 laps as they come by our start-finish line. Team number 5, that's where they qualified, 5th place. They're up front. The official standings at the end of 185 laps, however, show two teams who started well back in this race as moving way up. In fact, in second place at the end of 185 laps, team number 28, Kappa Sigma. Kappa Sigma ranks 10th overall in these races. They've won it. They won one. That was back in 1959, is that correct? 1959 was when they won the race. And they're a super bunch of guys, and they've done a good job.
1972, Doug.
72 was when they won it. 72 was when they won it, and they rode a super race that year. The leader comes by, and we continue racing, but they've come from 28th position up to number 2. That's due to no wrecks, no accidents. There have been a lot of those. We've had 10 yellow lights. That's lasted for a total of 29 laps. Third place right now, the way we have it, we show it as team number 29. Steve, that's Jenkins House and Independent Unit.
That's right, Doug, and that is totally unexpected, but I'm sure that Jenkins House feels very fortunate that they are up that far in the race position.
So two teams who started way back are way up front at this little 500 as we complete 193 laps. The pace begins to pick up at this point in the race. It slows down in the middle, but on these final 10 laps, you'll see the speeds begin to build.
195th lap, that's actual.
Watching them as they move down the back straightaway. Delta Chi needs to stay. All they got to do is keep on riding, and it looks like they'll win. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, they are in a commanding position right now.
Doesn't mean the race is over, so please stay in the stands.
Team number 5, Delta Chi, your leader, as we have completed 195 laps in this race. Steve, in spite of the fact that we are getting toward the end of this race, just because Delta Chi gets the flag, if they get the flag, it doesn't mean that the race is over.
Doug, we will run today until the first 10 teams have completed 200 laps. Then the entire field will be red flagged, and other teams will be assigned whatever lap they are on. So we're going to run a couple of laps at least after Delta Chi because they're one up on everybody.
Delta Chi heads toward turn number 1. They are the leaders at this point. The rain has stopped, and we're going to have an exciting finish, we anticipate, for this year's Little 500, the 29th annual. We follow them around as they go through turn number 3 and into turn number 4. Steve, let's see if we can take a look and determine who's on the bike for Delta Chi.
Doug, that's Bill Brisman. He is one of their star riders. Bill's a sophomore. He's ridden in one previous race, and his time on qualification day, 33.69 seconds for one lap, was the fastest time of the day on qualification day.
Bill Brisman on the bike for Delta Chi as they go down the back straightaway, and they're working on lap 198.
Team number 5, Delta Chi, is running in its 198th lap. 198th lap. The leader.
198 as he comes by the start-finish line. And Delta Chi, who has been a major factor in this race ever since, well, for the past 10 years or so. And it looks like they have taken command. They've been down twice. There have been a lot of accidents in the race. And they were down twice, actually had the bike off the track, but they were back on very quickly and never lost a lap on anyone who was leading. And due to subsequent wrecks, they are a lap up on everybody else. And they've done a fine job, Steve, in taking command of the race and staying in the overall lead all the way through it.
Doug, we're going to take a look at Howdy Wilcox, the starter, giving the white flag to Delta Chi as they go for a break.
White flag lap, Delta Chi following them into turn number 1. Final lap. Bill Brisman putting that bike, pushing it as hard as he can go down the back straightaway now.
Doug, they're 200 yards from victory.
He knows now that the checkered flag awaits him after 2 more turns. Into turn number 3, Bill Brisman for Delta Chi. Into turn number 4, keeping it very smooth, a wide track, no problems. He's going to come down. And here's our 1979 winner, Delta Chi. The winner of the 1979 Indiana University Little 500. Steve, they just rode a very smart race.
Doug, a very, very smart race. They had the horses. We said at the top of the program they might be won. Here they are. Look at their fans celebrating as we follow the pack around. Remember that we're still in competition for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Bill Brissman on that last lap rode a 32.1 seconds. That is 28 miles an hour for that final lap.
Bill Brissman turning in a near record time as he moved Delta Chi around that last lap, and he is enjoying the victory right now. The race continues now for second place.
Bill is waving to the crowd now as he comes out of turn 4 and heading down to the start-finish line. The 1979 Little 500 champions with Bill Brissman up, Delta Chi fraternity.
Bobby Wilcox has his eye out now. He'll be looking for the second place team to give the checkered flag to.
Hands up in the air so you're safely out of the way and back in your pit. Then you can celebrate.
And I believe he's going to give that to Team 28, Kappa Sigma.
Looks like Kappa Sigma is going to finish second place in this year's race, and they started way back at 28, and that's all the way in the back. There they go, crossing the line together. Team number 2, team number 1. And we'll have to wait for an official.
And Herb also says it's going to take a few minutes to figure out some of these finishers are coming in awfully close.
It's going to take the official standings at the end of the race before we know exactly who's second, third, fourth, and fifth. Steve, that's how close it was for those second place teams.
It was certainly close, Doug. Everybody racing on the same lap. But we are certain Delta Chi, the champion, for their 5th time, Doug. They won this race in 1973, 74. They won it again in 76, 77, and now 79. 5-time champions.
So your winner is Delta Chi. They are doing the traditional celebration by taking that bike right up all the way through their pit and by their fans. And if everything, well, I think they're going to stop it this year before it goes over the wall as it has in the past, which has been a lot of tradition around here. Take that bike, throw it over the wall. We're number 1, and we're going to go celebrate. Your winner this year, 1979 Indiana University Little 500, the team from Delta Chi.
That will probably be official.